on this episode of Mythbusters Junior.
Is there a college you could go to blow things up?
Allie, Valerie, and Rachel investigate the myth of canned air and a paper shredder.
You would totally get freaked out if you were in the office. Oh, it just exploded. Explosions!
Could these everyday household items explode when combined?
I love it.
Oh my God.
And Elijah, Jesse, and Cannon take on a mythical meteorological mission.
Commence primary ignition.
Is it impossible to make mayonnaise during a lightning storm?
Look, electricity in the mayo. Wow.
The result is entirely shocking.
What is happening?
Awesome. Yes, I'm back. With a brand new team of the best builders, the brightest minds, and the boldest busters I could find. Yes, they're a bunch of kids, but the myths, ha! They are as full-size and as explosive as ever. This is Mythbusters Junior. So the myth is that if you start cleaning out your paper shredder with canned air, or Bust Off, a division of Savage Industries, you can cause an explosion. This is an ideal Mythbuster story. Two commonly available things that together can yield potentially an uncommon and very dangerous outcome. Now, we have not been able to find any reports of spontaneously combusting paper shredders, so it seems pretty natural that the first place to start investigating is to take a look at the flammability of whatever's in this can.
So what exactly is canned air?
It's not just air in a can. It also has a propellant which allows the air to come out under pressure, which makes it perfect to clean those hard-to-reach places on your tech. Nice.
The can is full of compressed gas. Under pressure, it's liquid. Hit the nozzle, and it sprays out as a gas. But what about its potential for a combustion catastrophe? To find out, first, a flammability test.
Safety's off.
The gals might have taken inspiration from the Mythbusters' love of a flamethrower. But unlike Adam and Jamie's frantically ferocious firefight with a fire extinguisher, they're aiming to generate a more controlled stream of fire with this experiment.
Yeah, that's right. Kick that, yeah.
Valerie wields the sword of safety.
Kick it. Yep.
Rachel preps the bust-off, ready for blast-off.
Can going in, I think. Yes, can going in. Take my string.
Yes, I shall.
Pull.
And Allie provides the critical element.
Playing the role of our ignition source will be this here lighter, which will be lit from a safe distance by our handy-dandy incinerator 8000, because, you know, try not to lose an eyebrow.
Hey, it's time for us to have a talk. I know I don't need to tell you not to try this at home, but this story involves a paper shredder and canned air, two things you find in a lot of households. So let me add one more bit of discouragement to this mix, and that is the propellant of this can. It's great for our ozone. It doesn't deplete it. But when you set that propellant on fire, it creates a couple of really poisonous compounds. So please, don't try this at home.
With everyone safely in position, it's time for ignition.
This is canned air flammability test. In 3, 2, 1.
Did this light?
But there's no liftoff.
Nothing.
Nada.
Oh man. Oh, it's just putting the flame out.
Try it again.
Yep, the liquid propellant is vaporizing into gas.
The air's just putting the flame out.
But Team Shredder has an idea to alter the mix.
Maybe if we flip it upside down, then we'll get a better result.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's try it. Let's go try that. Time to flip this can upside down. Oh.
The theory is that gravity will push more liquid down through the nozzle, adding more fuel to the fire.
Okay, this is canned air flammability test, upside down can, in 3, 2, 1. Oh!
There we go.
Do it again! Oh my gosh!
That is so cool.
That is really cool.
Yes. That was awesome.
So canned air is flammable.
Upside down. Wow. Nice.
So by intentionally misusing their bust-off, the team has the desired outcome.
So we know that canned air is flammable, and we know that paper's flammable. Now time to put this in the paper shredder. What can possibly go wrong? Ooh, flames. Boy.
With the first myth literally lit, it's time to check in on the boys who are cooking up myth number 2.
I found this next story in an early 1970s cookbook right next to a recipe for making mayonnaise. There was a tip that said, do not try this recipe during an electrical storm. It could inhibit your ingredients from combining. Could this be true? Could a simple and everyday electrical storm prevent mayonnaise from coming into existence?
To crack this myth, the guys need to first understand the method and science that goes into making a perfect batch of mayonnaise.
Step 1, grab an egg.
Okay.
Resident fabricator Jesse has swapped a welding torch for a recipe book and applies his expert assembly skills.
None of us have actually made mayonnaise before, and it's an important step for this myth. So I started calling out ingredients, and we started whipping up our own batch. Crack your egg in your cup.
Mayonnaise is the creamy combo of egg, lemon juice, mustard, and oil.
Are we done with this lemon? Is this lemon
Yes, we're
gonna get...
definitely... That is disgusting. That is nasty.
All right.
The science lies in the emulsification. That's the process of mixing 2 or more liquids which are normally unmixable.
Get your mixer.
In Mayo's case, it's the egg yolk and mustard which work to bind the egg white, lemon juice, and oil. When blended together, they emulsify into a mouth-watering marvel of chemistry.
All right, and then put some seasoning.
Okay.
You're like one of those famous cooks that does everything perfect. Elijah, easy on the seasoning, please. Make sure it's all mixed good.
I'm scared to taste it. This actually isn't that bad. Would you be willing to allow me to try yours?
You want to?
Do I really want to do this? I may have over-seasoned mine. It was because I added the entire dish of salt. I just...
Do it.
It wasn't half bad. It was totally bad.
Subjective seasoning aside, they've cracked the chemistry.
Now that we know how to make the perfect mayo, we need to build a machine that can automate that for us.
And knowing Adam's innate ability to cook up a storm,
Cooking in a bomb suit, only on this show.
the guys decide to dial in his experience and develop a prototype.
I love food myths. I love food stories. I love food. My family, we are all avid cooks, and we love experimenting and making things taste good. But I also love food stories because everybody has to eat. And food science is one of the best ways to teach people about actual science. We did a ton of awesome food stories over the course of making Mythbusters. Man, I remember it as if it was yesterday.
Like when Adam and Jamie tried to cook up their holiday feast in an unconventional oven.
we've mapped out the temperatures of this entire car to find where we can cook these things.
All right, we got a car full of food and 4 hours to cook Thanksgiving dinner. Let's go. Mythbusters road trip.
And the results got everyone's motor running.
Oh, nice.
This is good.
Everything on this plate is genuinely delicious.
Man, makes me hungry. A machine so that we would put the ingredients in the thing, flip a switch, and it would make mayonnaise for us. What does that machine look like?
I'm thinking like there's a thing that attaches the immersion blender to the belt, and the belt would rotate, but the immersion blender always stays facing down.
So it operates kind of like you see in a train wheel work, right? Like the steam engine pushes the piston. I think a cam is a great way to go here. We could come up with a program for going slow at the beginning and then speeding up and adjusting the amount of speed it took to make mayo until we have an automatic mayonnaise making machine. We could make millions!
I don't think this is how they make factory mayonnaise machines.
Probably right.
Just a thought.
Do any of you guys have experience programming with pocket computers?
Yes.
Shall we get to building?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Come on.
Is it really impossible to make mayonnaise during a lightning storm? To put this meteorological myth to the test, the guys have designed and built the Mayo Bot.
This is our first prototype for the automatic mayonnaise making machine. We need to convert rotational motion into linear motion, and this is what a cam does. The stepper motor will rotate the cam, moving the blender up and down, creating the perfect batch of mayo every time.
First up, electronics whiz Elijah records the ideal blend duration.
1 minute, 4 seconds.
And programs the Mayo Bot accordingly. But will it work?
3, 2, 1.
Batch number 1? It's clear the bot's not ready for prime time.
The mayo does look a little watery.
First batch complete. Failure.
Elijah goes to work adjusting the code. And several failed attempts later,
We're getting close, but it's not quite what we want.
our resident hacker closes in on programming perfection.
Commence primary ignition.
The result? 5-star Robo-Mayo.
It looks pretty good.
It looks nice and thick, like mayonnaise should.
I would put this on my sandwich.
So maybe the guys can make millions after all.
Welcome to the mayonnaise robot. This thing will save you so much time. You can save 70 seconds of your life making mayonnaise and adding all of the ingredients. You literally have to press a button and it's done. For only $9.99, you can get so much time back into your life. You can visit a friend's house for 70 seconds. But wait, there's more. If you call within the next 20 seconds, you'll get not one, but 2 mayonnaise making machines. And you get that perfect, thick, creamy mayonnaise that you've always wanted for your beautiful sandwiches. Who is this person?
Or perhaps it's best if they quit daydreaming and get their head back in the clouds for the myth at hand. The bot's built, but what are the lightning storm properties that could inhibit mayo from emulsifying?
First and foremost, you need a cloud. You need moisture in the air. Then you need rising air, air that's been heated by the sun so that it rises off the earth, creating a long cloud. And as it rises, it creates a low pressure zone, that pressure that needs to be rebalanced by wind coming in from outside. That barometric drop is the second component of a thunderstorm. And then as the air rises and as those air molecules are colliding against each other and against ice and moisture in the cloud, they create small electrical charges, which generates, yes, you guessed it, the lightning. Now, we don't know whether the moisture or the barometric drop or the electricity is the culprit that might potentially cause this myth to be confirmed, so every single one of those will have to be tested.
It's the type of experimental process which team player Jesse lives for.
My dad's been teaching me skills for years, and one of them is how to work with other people. Any chance I get to collaborate, I'm in.
And he's got an idea to house the perfect storm.
I think we need to build a chamber.
Into which we can introduce these conditions?
Yes.
All right. How would we adjust the humidity?
We can put like a humidifier.
Yeah. What about a drop in pressure? We could hook a vacuum pump into it.
Yeah.
And as for ambient electricity, we just got to bring in some big pieces of electrical equipment. That's going to be fun.
So while the guys go about rigging a storm box, the girls are testing the myth that using canned air on a paper shredder can cause an explosion.
I have the feeling that this next test is going to be really exciting, just judging by the warning labels that are on these various products. For example, this one says, don't use canned air. This one says, don't flip it upside down and don't set it on fire. And it also says, don't use in paper shredders.
They know the canned air is flammable. But to get an ignition spark from the shredder, the team needs to disable the manufacturer's safety mechanisms.
Mythbusters has a long tradition of disarming the safety features on several different pieces of equipment.
Exhibit A. When Adam and Jamie tested the myth that an overpressurized water heater can turn torpedo, they disabled several key safety features to make a defunct and dangerous boiler go boom. Wow! Needless to say, Team Shred is hoping for a similar spectacular result.
Add this one to the list. Time to make this even less safe.
To give themselves the best chance of success, problem solver Allie deactivates a pair of sensors designed to shut down the motor when it's overworked.
Beautiful. Here we go, you guys. Does it look amazing?
Yes, beautiful.
Yay, it works.
That's awesome. Okay, making it safe.
Working with Rachel and Allie is amazing. They're super smart and know how to problem solve.
All right, let me replace this can.
This is it. The team has all the ingredients for the mythical explosion. A faulty paper shredder with the manufacturer's safety mechanisms disabled, plus canned air. Will they go boom?
All right, this is paper shredder Kaboom, no safety. In 3, 2, 1. Nothing?
No?
Do it again.
Rachel realizes her alignment is off,
The can might not be hitting.
and the bust-off is missing its target.
Okay, I'm gonna go readjust that real quick.
A few words of friendly encouragement,
You had one job, Rachel. I'm sorry, I broke one job.
Be calm.
That should do it. All right.
and they're back on track.
Okay, this is paper shredder Kaboom test, no safety, take 2. In 3, 2, 1. Yep. Let's leave it for a bit. Let it heat up. Yeah. I feel like something's gonna happen, but it's not happening.
I don't have very much confidence in it right now. We have all the ingredients for the recipe of disaster, and yet there's no explosion still. So we're probably gonna need to change the recipe. This is ridiculous.
There are many warning labels on both the canned air and the paper shredder that say, don't put us together. And when we did, nothing happened.
This is ridiculous.
But as Adam explains, it's failure by design.
The manufacturers of these machines understand that flammability is a potential problem, and they've gone to great lengths to eliminate it, not just with warning labels on the top, but the interior engineering is all about isolating the different pathways and parts of this to keep any fire from happening. And that tells me that the girls have their work cut out for them. This is not going to be an easy set of circumstances to replicate.
It's a perfect project for 3 determined young minds.
Valerie and Rachel, they're really good to work with. We complement each other, so I want to be able to develop that a bit more and see where it ends up.
We have the best case scenario here. We have the flammable propellant and we have the safeties deactivated on the machine.
We have all the pieces, but we don't have an explosion.
Well, why don't we take this apart and see if we're missing anything?
Good plan.
Yeah, sounds good.
To assist with the surgery, Valerie calls on design consultant Tamara.
Doctor?
Doctor, is the patient prepped?
Yes.
Let's begin.
Screwdriver?
And the scientific diagnosis?
It looks like the only source of ignition is that motor.
The brushes are gonna give a little spark off, so you wanna plug it in and see what we got?
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Such a cute little spark.
It's cute, but it has potential.
We could make it bigger by aging the brushes.
That sounds awesome.
Scraping back the brushes replicates long-term use and abuse of the machine.
And do a couple line etches around. And there, you aged it.
That's it.
It's like at least 10 years older now.
Wow.
Good job. Now we should get some big sparks.
So by wearing down the motor, they have clearly ramped up the size of the spark.
We helped it in its aging process. It's not cheating. It's as though this machine has been shredding paper for years now.
Allie!
What?
Okay, let's get to work.
Meanwhile, Allie and Rachel are on a mission to maximize the combustion capacity.
Let's take a look at another potential fuel source.
The paper.
Oof, so
Goodness, wow.
And Allie's brought her physics A game to the table.
This dust is really good for our test. If you think about that, for each of these little shreds of paper, that all these dust particles are just tiny versions of these. More edges equals more surface area, and more surface area equals more fire. Dust equals the most fire.
That's so cool. You just blew my mind. I think we're gonna have to make some more dust.
Allie is literally the perfect blend of a Mythbuster. She is nerdy, but really, really clever.
Growing up in the Midwest has given Allie the light bulb moment they've been looking for.
This kind of reminds me of what happens back home in South Dakota, where if you have a lot of grain in a silo, then all the grain dust comes into the air, and it has a lot of air surrounding it, which makes it really easy to light on fire and really easy to spread the fire to the other particles, causing an explosion. Yay!
A catastrophic dust explosion is a phenomenon the Mythbusters are familiar with.
2, 1! Oh my God! That was frightening!
And that's just what the team is hoping for.
Ooh, look at that dust.
Alrighty.
But could a dust explosion occur in a paper shredder? It's time to find out with a full-scale build that matches the worst-case scenario.
All right. That looks good. Okay, is this level? Is this level?
No, stick your side.
With the scene for our corporate catastrophe set, there's just one thing missing. An office worker who's dummy enough to step in.
Just a little bit of a flop there. Okay, you guys all know Buster. You've probably seen him on TV a couple of times as well in some pretty tough situations. He ran out of health insurance, and so he decided to come work here at Heinemann Savage Paper Company, where this branch is known for throwing office parties and accidentally lighting things on fire. This is it, the worst case scenario. Or for Mythbusters, the best case scenario. When I press this button,
Our paper shredder with its newly aged brush motors will activate, replicating the sparks of an overused office shredder.
Once our paper shredder is running, I'll pull this string, releasing our flammable propellant, which should aerosolize our paper dust. Once that happens, we'll finally figure out if your paper shredder's out to get ya. Boom.
All right, you guys ready?
yeah.
Ready. Okay, here we go. Good.
Did that work?
Yes.
All right, perfect.
This is Paper Shredder Kaboom, worst case scenario, in 3, 2, 1.
Nothing? Come on, get that trigger finger, let's go.
Allie frantically flips the switch, hoping to initiate a spark.
Video games, don't fail me now.
Rachel pumps in the propellant.
Explode! Come on!
But once again, it only builds frustration.
Is nothing happening, really?
No boom. And the myth might be busted.
I think this is actually the one time Buster's happy.
But the team's not done yet. A 1970s cookbook states that it's impossible to make mayonnaise during a lightning storm. Could this be true? To find out, Elijah, Cannon, and Jesse are busy building a test environment.
In order to control the weather, we had to think outside of the box, or in this case, inside the box.
So, are there clouds on the horizon for mayo makers?
The three main components of an electrical storm are ambient electricity, high humidity, and a drop in atmospheric pressure. We're going to be testing all of these in our storm chamber.
This is mission control. With this little box here, they can control the humidity inside the box, the barometric pressure, and the electrical fields. And then when they want to make mayo, you just push a button and it'll go.
The guys will test each of the variables one by one. First up is humidity. And to calculate the concentration of water vapor in the air, college sophomore Cannon does his thing.
The average humidity in a common electrical storm is about 93 to 100%. And that's what we're replicating here in our storm chamber and Grandma's kitchen.
There is our mixture for our mayo. So, what are we looking for in all these tests? It's pretty simple. If we can't mix mayo, then this myth is confirmed. Here we go. Flipping the humidity switch. In 3, 2, 1.
Inside the chamber, the air becomes thick with moisture.
53%.
Once above 93% humidity, the conditions match those of a severe electrical storm.
Okay, it is now at 99%.
Grandma, are you ready to make some mayonnaise?
Yes, little boy.
Okay, Grandma.
Let's hit the button. It looks like it is making it.
Yeah, it looks like it's making it pretty well.
Time for the all-important taste test.
So what is it like?
Tastes like mayonnaise.
We can all agree it's slightly thinner mayonnaise, but it's still mayonnaise.
Yes.
So if the myth is true, humidity is not the culprit.
For our next test, we're going to simulate a barometric pressure drop.
The guys use a vacuum to lower the pressure inside the chamber. But will it suck the life out of their mayo?
Now, just because I'm tapping, it doesn't mean it's broken. You just got to give a little tap, tap, and it works fine.
Okay, a few more taps, Jesse.
With the pressure firmly on,
Barometric pressure mayo test in 3, 2, 1.
Are we making mayo?
It looks like it.
the mayo maker once again delivers.
Well, it's mayo.
Well, it looks like mayo, smells like mayo, and tastes like mayo, so I think we're good.
The myth is that it's impossible to make mayo in a storm, and 2 of the 3 variables have been eliminated. Time to amp things up.
What's next?
Electricity.
Awesome!
Explode! Come on! We aged the motor from a paper shredder to try to get it to explode, and nothing.
You know, paper shredders are really starting to annoy me.
Well, I mean, if you were experiencing a paper shredder jam, then you might want to try to reverse the motor and see if that gets a piece of paper out.
That's a great idea. I'll have a look at the motor.
Determined to find a plausible scenario, Valerie and the girls aren't giving up on the myth that using canned air on a paper shredder can cause an explosion without a fight.
Valerie is amazing to work with. She is, like, truly a warrior.
By altering the direction of the motor, they believe they can create more heat on the brushes.
Miss Tamara, we have our worst case scenario, but just no explosion. Now that I think about it, if you had a real paper jam, you would be pissed off and cranking this back and forth.
I think you're right. I can make that possible from behind the blast shields.
That would be awesome.
Okay, I'll work on it.
In theory, the change should generate a bigger spark.
My friends back there are working on making a remote switch to control the forward and reverse motion of the paper shredder. So hopefully that'll change our test results, because every variable matters.
And in practice, the results are better than expected.
Okay, so check this out. Look here for the spark. This is what you see when you go forward. This is reverse. But now, if you actually surge back and forth.
Oh, hello. That was awesome.
That was a lot better.
Think of it this way. If you're trying to push a car and you've got to push some force behind it to get it going, you're gonna put forth a little bit of energy. Now, if that car's actually rolling backwards and you're trying to stop its motion and then push it forward, it takes a lot more energy. Just like that, the motor's having to work twice as hard to be able to not just go in reverse when you switch it over, but also stop going forward. So again, big spark. It may be the spark they need.
And with that, it's time for take 2.
Are you guys ready?
Ready.
All right. This is Paper Shredder Kaboom, worst case scenario.
Now with the ability to go forward and reverse.
Here we go in 3, 2, 1.
You wanna try spraying it again?
Oh!
Yeah! And there you go.
Oh, fire.
There was fire. But was it the explosive combustion they're looking for?
All right, well, let's check out the high speed.
Oh, it looks like the fire is starting because of the propellant on the outside rather than the particles on the inside.
The surface fire is a solid indicator that this myth is well and truly alive. Due to the modifications that disabled the safety features on the paper shredder, the team is one step closer to an explosion.
Well, we got a reaction, but we think that the propellant on the surface is actually catching fire and not going deeper into the shredder.
From the initial test results, the team knows the can's contents don't ignite when upright.
The air's just putting the flame out.
And to maximize flammability, they've been using the can in an upside-down position. But in this test, the spray's liquid-to-gas ratio caused by the inverted orientation failed to aerosolize the dust. So it may be a case of less is more. They require propellant in order to ignite the spark, but also enough air to circulate the dust inside the shredder bin.
Hello.
For their final attempt, they're splitting the difference at 45 degrees.
So we're repositioning our canned air to see if the air itself can't aerosolize our dust. Come on, get in there. All right, good. To see if we can get a real kaboom.
As they head into the eye of their mythical storm, our mayo makers are ready to test the third and final variable, electricity.
What is happening? What is happening? That was extremely weird.
Question is it impossible to make mayonnaise in an electrical storm? There's only one way to find out. And it's not the first time Mythbusters has tackled the effects of lightning.
If you're playing a round of golf in a thunderstorm and you're wearing metal cleats, you're more likely to get hit by lightning.
The team modified a pair of mannequins.
Will lightning be attracted to your golf cleats?
And ensured they had the same electrical properties as real golfers.
The ballistics gel is going to give us the same kind of resistance to electricity as the human body.
Okay. Yeah.
He's a unicorn.
In true Mythbusters style, they ensured their golfers' fashion was on par.
We have found some leather-soled shoes with metal cleats. It's going to give us the best conduction path. Now, to be a really good comparison, we have our modern rubber-soled shoes with plastic cleats.
You know, I've never seen a golfer with just golf shoes. That would freak me out.
And with the dummies sitting pretty, they unleashed the lightning.
All right, fire it up.
One on plastic. Two plastic, one metal.
And after a series of shocking tests, they had a result.
We had 2 identical ballistics gel dummies at equal distances from our high voltage source. What we saw was a fairly equal distribution of lightning strikes between the 2, which indicates that there's no difference having the metal cleats.
So that means metal cleats do not attract lightning. This myth is busted.
Busted. Busted.
That one was proven to be totally bogus. Will making mayo join the busted list?
Now, the amount of electricity they're gonna put into this chamber, 60,000 volts per meter, is like the storm is on your house. You would feel the electricity on your skin, and the last thing on your mind would be making mayonnaise. The first thing would be survival.
Right now, it's the survival of the myth which is at stake. And the guys are all set for the final test.
Small note, these two devices on either side of our experiment are called Jacob's ladders. They're powered by a 15,000 volt neon transformer that is allowing its electricity to arc across these two cables as it goes up. They don't have anything to do with our experiment, they just look really, really cool. They really sound like this.
Ambient static electricity, worst case scenario, test in 3, 2, 1.
I love the hum in the air.
40,000 volts. And 60,000 volts. Press the mayonnaise button in 3, 2, 1.
Whoa! Guys, check out the Mylar. That is not a breeze. That is the ambient electricity, the static electricity causing it to dance like that. If you were in that room, you would only want to run. All right, gentlemen. Who wants to try the mayonnaise? Did we get mayonnaise?
We got mayonnaise.
Not one of the 3 component parts of a storm has affected the mayo making. But they're not done yet.
Next, we have to put everything together.
With the humidity, the barometric pressure, and electricity.
Yes.
All right. It's time to put it all together at once. This is the worst case scenario. We're gonna find out if we can still make some mayonnaise. All right, the pressure has dropped low enough. Our humidity is at 99%. We're at 60,000 volts per meter of ambient static electricity. Jesse, get ready to make some mayo in 3, 2, 1. Make mayonnaise.
So loud, it actually sounds like we're in the middle of something.
I know.
It looks like it's making mayo.
I agree.
My worst nightmare would be at like not mixing at all, and I would have to eat a raw egg.
That would be totally gross. Oh, it stopped. Okay. Let's turn off the electricity. Let's go test it. Okay, Elijah, this is it. Final taste test. Tell me what you think. Did we make mayo in a lightning storm?
It tastes like mayo. It's still thin, but it tastes like mayo.
How do you guys want to call this myth?
Busted.
Busted. Busted.
I agree. It's busted. Now that it's busted, I've got one more cool thing to try.
With the myth's plausibility fried, Adams called in high voltage expert Johnny Volt.
What the heck is that on your arm?
This is a mini Tesla coil. I brought a couple of Tesla coils today, but this is a little one. It's 400 watts, but it's about 30,000 to 40,000 volts coming out of there.
Wow. And what are these tubes in our arms for?
Those are fluorescent tubes, and these are to illustrate that there's an electrical field coming out of the Tesla coil. So here.
So what is this exactly?
It's a high voltage, high frequency generator.
This thing is really cool. It looks like you have this crazy electric arm.
Can I please try that?
Of course you can.
Unlimited power!
All right, you ready for the big Tesla coil?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
All right, gentlemen, I need you to put on your safety glasses. Bring in Storm 2.0.
Johnny Volt's custom kit can generate lightning strikes on demand. And Adam wants to see what could happen if lightning were to directly strike the mayo maker.
That is a Tesla coil that can put out bolts of electricity up to 200,000 volts.
Wow.
All right, here we go. Making mayo in a lightning storm 2.0. In 3, 2, 1. Yeah! Look! Electricity in the mayo. Whoa! it's compromising a rig. Come on, rig. Come on, you can do it. And down again. Whoa! Okay, here it goes. There we go.
I think we just broke it.
Oh, oh.
Did we just fry the machine?
I'm not exactly sure. Every single aspect of a lightning storm that we tested still allowed the mayonnaise-making robot to make mayonnaise, except for this one, and that's because it fried both our stepper motor and our immersion circulator. Well, it turns out that a lightning storm can inhibit the making of mayonnaise, but only because it fries your appliances. Elijah, you still want to try?
No. I think the myth is still busted, though.
I would tend to agree. Anyone else want to try?
After you.
No, I'm happy to call this busted, too. Let's go home.
This myth has pushed Allie, Valerie, and Rachel to their problem-solving limits.
It's not happening!
But they've pushed back, beating up the paper shredder in an all-out effort to blow it up. Using the data gathered over the course of testing, the Mythbusters know that the final variable is the angle of the can. They found out that the propellant vaporizes before ignition when the can is upright, and there's too much liquid to aerosolize the dust when it's upside down. So it's time to split the difference.
We're repositioning our canned air to see if the air itself can't aerosolize our dust. Come on, get in there. All right, good. To see if we can get a real kaboom. In 3, 2.
No, wait.
Oh, are you guys doing an experiment right now?
Get over here.
Okay.
We got to do a test. Come on. Come right here.
Okay.
Are you guys ready? Ready?
Yes.
Okay, totally.
Okay, this is Paper Shredder Kaboom in 3, 2, 1.
There we go. That was awesome.
Dudes, that was really cool.
We finally got the explosion we wanted, and it was terrifying.
There we go.
You would totally get freaked out if you were in the office and being like, oh, I'm just gonna clean this. Oh, it just exploded. What's going on here?
I really appreciate how hard the girls worked to change one variable at a time. The spark did ignite the bust-off. Canned air, paper shredders, and paper dust are literally a perfect storm of an explosive combination, and they stuck with it and proved it so.
So by extensively modifying the machine, removing the manufacturer's safety mechanisms, and disregarding the safety warnings, the verdict is in.
How do you guys want to call this?
Confirmed.
I think we could put this one to bed unless you guys wanted to go bigger.
Is that even a question? Of course we're going bigger.
Go big or go home.
No one's going home just yet. Having monitored their results to date, Adam couldn't help himself and has conjured up a supersized surprise for the expert shredders.
Let me introduce you to the Shredderator 8000.
Oh my God.
Welcome to our version of amping it up. Not only have we made a much bigger container for our paper shredder to hopefully contain a bigger boom, we have also way over-amped the motor for this shredder. And I could give you the specs and the speeds and all of that, but maybe it's better if I just show you. There we go.
When Adam says he's gonna supersize something, he really means it.
It might be on the Mythbusters side of ridiculous, but it's a perfect reward for the trio's tireless efforts.
After a long time of working with all the tiny little paper shredders, this one looks pretty epic.
The best thing about it is that it's clear and we can actually see the explosion happening right in front of our eyeballs.
All right, here we go. Eyes front, this is the Shredderator 8000.
This is it, the patented Mythbusters method of ramping it up. For the perfect recipe for disaster, start with plenty of paper, shredded to perfection.
Commence shredding in 3, 2, 1, shred.
Shredding!
The next ingredient provides the flammable propellant, a dash of bust-off.
Commence canned air in 3, 2, 1.
Canned air!
Then stir well to achieve the perfect explosive dust storm.
Commence dispersal. 3, 2, 1.
Dispersing.
Oh, that's amazing. Come on.
That was awesome! Explosions!
That was successful.
Haha!
Well done. Awesome.
Is there a college you could go to blow things up?
There is, in fact. And I'd be happy to write a letter of recommendation. You guys are becoming explosive experts.
Oh, man.
High fives. Awesome.
Yes!
Well done. All right, let's go have a beer.
No, we can't do that!
We're not going to have a beer. We're not having a beer. That was just an expression.
It's good fun! Most of the time, kids are told to not play with matches, but on Mythbusters, we're told to explode things.
We finally found the perfect recipe for disaster.
Mythbusters figured it out before I did with their little paper shredder, and I'm really glad I got to use their institutional knowledge to get this one to go.
Just remember, everybody out there, don't use canned air on your paper shredder.
Yep, canned air plus paper shredder does indeed equal the potential for a big kaboom.